All right, let's talk about something big. What does it truly mean to live a good life? In this explainer, we're going to dive into this really amazing contemplative story that offers a powerful way to answer that very question.
You know, it's a question we all bump into at some point, right? How do we know if we're living well? Is it about how much we achieve, or maybe what we own? Or is it something deeper? That's the huge question we're going to tackle today.
So let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in a place called DAYFACE. It's this little village that gets the very first light of the day. And here, 4 really different people have gathered for a retreat, to try and get a handle on some of life's biggest questions.
Okay, first up, let's meet the uncle. He's 72, a retired teacher, and he's basically the spiritual rock of this group. His wisdom, well, it's not just book smarts, it's the kind of deep knowledge that only comes from a long, thoughtful life. He's really the quiet conscience of the whole story. And then we have the nephew. He's 32, and he's kind of going through what a lot of us go through. He's ambitious, he's searching for something real, but at the same time, he's getting pulled by that need for everyone else to tell him he's doing a good job. That classic modern struggle.
Next, there's Roger. He's 42, an academic, and he's all about measure and logic. Think of him as the guy who's always trying to connect the dots, trying to build this bridge between the super-rational thinking of the West and the deeper wisdom of the East.
And last but not least, we have the aunt. At 52, she's the one who keeps everyone grounded. Her wisdom isn't some abstract theory. It comes straight from the heart, from real compassion and a deep, deep understanding of people and how we all connect.
Okay, so now that we know who's in the room, let's get into a really cool idea they talk about. It's called the fertile cycle. And this is their whole model for what real, meaningful progress actually looks like.
I mean, we've all heard of a vicious circle, right? You get stuck in that negative loop that just goes around and around. Well, a fertile cycle, or a virtuous one, is the total opposite. It's not about just repeating an action. It's the idea that every time you go through the cycle, you actually end up on a higher level.
And this idea has 3 main parts. First, you've got this horizontal expansion. Think about dropping a stone in a pond. It's like the ripples spreading outwards. That's your influence growing. Then you have the spiral movement. This is where you might come back to the same kinds of challenges or practices, but each time you're a little bit higher up. You have a better view. And finally, all those spirals start to build on each other, creating a vertical ascent. It's like time isn't just passing, it's actually building something upwards.
So here's the key takeaway. In this way of thinking, no circle ever ends exactly where it began. Growth is never flat. Every single journey, every moment of reflection, it's all connecting to a higher level. It's an upward climb, not just running in place. And all of this brings us to the absolute heart of the story. Picture this. It's a quiet evening, our travelers are sitting by a lake, moonlight all around, and a really deep conversation is about to start. It's Roger, the academic, who finally breaks the silence. And he asks the question that, let's be honest, probably keeps a lot of us up at night. In a world that's just obsessed with numbers and data and productivity, what's the real way to measure a good life? And the uncle's answer, it's so simple but so powerful. He doesn't give them a number or some big goal. Nope, he just points to balance. He says, the true measure lies in proportion. And you can really see what he means here. It's all about finding that perfect balance, isn't it? It's not about choosing your inner world or your outer world. It's about balancing them. The same goes for taking and giving, for speaking and listening, and even for ambition and humility. Because the real danger, as the uncle points out, is when things get out of whack. If you're all about outward success but have no inner foundation, your life gets distorted. But here's the thing, the opposite is also true. If you're just reflecting all the time without taking any responsibility in the world, that's a distortion too. It's a two-way street. But wait, the conversation doesn't end there with just proportion. It keeps going, and it leads them to something even bigger, to the real metric they were looking for all along. And here it is. This is the big one. A life is well measured when it does not betray itself. Just let that sink in for a second. It's so simple, but so incredibly powerful. It's not about hitting some external target or making other people happy. It's about being true to yourself.
So what does that even mean, not betraying yourself? Well, it means living in alignment. It's when your words actually match what's in your conscience and your actions match your true intentions. It's about closing that gap between who you are on the inside and what you do on the outside.
And this is a complete game changer for them. The nephew and Roger suddenly realize they've been asking the wrong question this whole time. They were asking, how much am I doing? measuring all that chaotic external stuff. But the new question, the better question, is how aligned am I living? It's a shift from quantity to quality.
But here's the thing. Getting to that place of alignment, that's not the end of the road. In fact, it's just the beginning of the next part of the journey. It's the start of a whole new fertile cycle. So as the conversation wraps up, the uncle gives them a little peek at what's next. He says, once you've found your true measure and you're living in that state of alignment, the whole game changes. The journey then becomes about moving from alignment into flow. That amazing state where doing the right thing just becomes effortless, totally natural. And that's where they leave it. It's not some big, flashy revelation, but a quiet, internal shift. And really, it turns the question right back to us, to you. So for a minute, forget about productivity, forget about influence, and just ask yourself, how aligned am I? What is my true measure?